2023, any party that feels northern presidential candidate will lose. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. Politician denies only now being economical with fruit. Founders of APC agreed on North-South power rotation. What Southeast presidency will bring to Nigeria. Minister of Labour and Employment and former Governor of Anambra State, Senator Chris Nwabueze Ngige, in this interview, spoke on the raging debate over rotation and zoning of offices ahead of a 2023 presidential poll. It is actually clear that any person who is going to be picking from the north, except northerners themselves, you're not going to vote, of course. They're always having this using this we have the voting power or voting strength advantage over other regions, except them themselves will vote for themselves, and if the founders of APC agreed on north to south rotation, not to south rotation. Okay, let's find out what Ngige has his opinion on this particular or these topics. Okay. Ngige, who is one of the founding fathers of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, among others, also spoke on insinuations that the opposition People's Democratic Party PDP plans to field the northern presidential candidate to beat APC at the poll, and why Southeast should produce President Buhari's successor. I hope they all know that even the northerners are against their own now because the way things are going. Let's find out what Ngige has to say. What is your take on the raging debate over power rotation and zoning? He replied, the issue of the rotation of prime officers in the land, even though it is not expressly written in the constitution of our party, APC, is by implication written in the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. First, I take you to section 14(3) of the Constitution, which talks about the composition of government at the national level, state, and even local government in such a way that there should be no element of perception of domination by any single tribe or group of persons that come from one ethnic nationality, and in such a way that government at any level is seen to have not been national, to endanger confidence and patriotism. That is what the Constitution says. So the wise men that did the 1979 Constitution and 1999 Constitution took this into account, and all the constitutional conferences and legislative bodies of a country, whether national, state, and even local government, legislative councils adopted it. That is why the Constitution formed the basis of a government at these three levels. So in effect, we all agree, flowing from the Constitution, that government at any level, the legislature, the executive, and even to the extent the judiciary, should reflect national spread. No particular group should dominate the other. That is also why if they are making appointments in the judiciary, zoning comes in. Does the federal character principle cover political parties? He replied, flowing from this, the political parties adopted it when they were considering those who will govern their parties. That is why when you have a chairman, you have a deputy chairman, north, and deputy chairman, south. It is in the constitution of both the APC and the PDP. It is in the constitution of most political parties. That is also why you have zonal chairman for the southeast, south-south, southwest, northeast, northwest, and north central. That is also why when you have the chairman come from the south, you have the secretary coming from the north. You also have the deputy chairman coming from the north. In some places, they have two deputy chairmen for north and south. So, all this put in a holistic basket of power shows you that it is recognized that because of our diversity, we need to have a platform for unity and diversity. In the same way, when the chairman of any political party is from the southern part of Nigeria, effort is made for the presidential standard bearer to come from the north. That is why also there is a deliberate attempt when a president from the south has governed for 8 years for power to shift to the north, and when it is in the north, it moves to the south. So there is an agreement, though not written, for this rotation to take place. Who are those involved in this agreement? In this agreement, he replied, it is an unwritten agreement or convention among all politicians and political parties in Nigeria. Anybody who is telling you that there is no such convention, norm, or tradition is a liar. Luckily for me, I've been old enough in this country to witness the Second Republic when this presidential system of government was born. It is also in that spirit that we see a presidential candidate from the south picking a running mate from the north and vice versa. What is the essence of power rotation? He replied, there must be balancing or equilibrium for nation to move forward. The Constitution does not contain everything. In this Constitution, it is not written like that, but there are extrapolations and inferences made in that Constitution. I was a foundation member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and when we formed the PDP, it was agreed that the presidency should go to the south. Somebody like Abubakar Rimi of blessed memory said no, that he must contest. I remember Chief Audu Ogbe, Chief Sunday Awoniyi, Chief Solomon La, and others taking Remi to a corner of a room in Professor Jerry's Ghana's house, but Remi still insisted on running. I remember Chief Audu Ogbe, Chief Sunday Awoniyi, Chief Solomon La, and others taking Remi to a corner of the room in Professor Jerry Ghana's house, but Remi still insisted on running. Sunday Awoniyi, who all of started crying, Awoniyi burst into tears, saying this was not what the founding fathers of Nigeria wanted. We were new politicians then. I and Prof. ABC Wonsu carried Alex Ekweme's bag to the meeting. So we are living witnesses to this. I am also a living witness to the fact that because of that, Abubakar Remi went and filed expression of interest and was disqualified. He came to Jos and insisted on running, but before the casting of votes, he went around the field to announce his withdrawal from the race, and the turf was left for Ekweme, who relinquished the chairmanship of the steering committee of PDP to vie for the presidency. Solomon La in Northerner was permitted to take over the chairmanship of the PDP because all the presidential aspirants were from the south. Nwobodo, Gamalen Onosode, and the former Minister of Labour under Babangida. And in our neighboring APP, everyone collapsed for a southern candidate. We had Ogbonnaya Onu, we had Olu Fali, we had the billionaire from Ibadan, Chief Harry Akande. They all slugged it out there. Shinkafi, another step down. Okay, I just wish history like this should just be made available on our fingertips. Okay, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. And until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of the day.